I'm Archie Luxury and welcome to the Archie Luxury channel for 2012. Today I want to talk about the investment potential of luxury watches in 2012. What is the market like? I want to do a quick market wrap up and give my advice on 2012. How can I sum up the investment potential for luxury watches in 2012? Well, the market's completely fucked with a capital F. That's right, it's fucked. And what I mean by that is that prices themselves there, if you hunt around all the places, there doesn't seem to be much bargains. Prices are remaining high on eBay, and through many watch dealers the prices are quite high. If you're in America, of course, prices would seem quite expensive. The dollar has devalued so much, and that certainly has to be factored in because these items are now an international item. World economies are fucked. America is fucking terrible as far as its dollar goes. Europe is fucking a disaster with the euro. You've got problems in France. You've got problems in Italy, Greece. The UK, the pound is fucking weak. It's all just one big fucking mess. And that's going to hurt the watch market. As far as investment potential goes, it's absolutely crazy in Japan and Hong Kong. Not necessarily that prices are, there's heaps of buyers around, but what's happening is a lot of pieces are being sold to China. So a lot of, I'm in Australia, so a lot of stock for Australia comes from Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan. A lot of Chinese buy. That market's a new emerging market, and they're buying a lot of classic luxury type items. And when I say classic luxury, I mean Datejust. Particularly Rolex Datejust Sapphire, Rolex Datejust Plastic, the sports watches, the Submariner, the GMT, the Explorers. Those prices there, even though the markets are very depressed, and the situation is further deteriorated by the fact that the market's actually pretty weak, except that the Chinese are coming in and buying pieces. So it's very fucked. It's very hard to be a watch dealer at the moment because you don't have many good customers and you're competing for stock against Chinese market. So it's very, very fucked at the moment. The other thing is too that's happening with watches themselves there is that the high-end luxury pieces, that's the Patek on the gorgeous Jaeger-LeCoultre models, not the super small ones but the decent sized pieces, they're certainly holding their own, and that's the advice. Stay away from things that are a bit undersized, a bit out of date. The current stuff is commanding quite a high premium, and there will always be a big demand for that type of item there. I can't find another Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Grand Date. I had somebody who wanted one, and I've got one myself, which I'm definitely not going to sell. But I can't get another one. The pieces like that are unique. They're always going to command good money, and this is the secret. Another interesting piece is the less desirable sports watches, say in Rolex Explorer 2. We've got a new release of the 42mm version. That seems to make the previous version suddenly bounce back in popularity, but I haven't seen many available at decent prices. So Rolex is very thin on the ground, which is makes it hard for the collector there. Even ladies Datejust, Sapphire, that's just hard to get good clean stock at the moment. Prices are very, very firm, and things like a Patek Ladies 24, just impossible, absolutely impossible unless you're prepared to pay a premium. And that's the same for rare things like a Jaeger-LeCoultre Grand Date. They're just anything lovely like that there is just you got to pay a high premium for. So very tough market at the moment, I think. So basically to wrap up the market there, you're seeing the actual number of buyers in the American market, Australian, US and European market is diminished. There's not enough buyers there, and you're competing for stock against the Chinese market. So it's an absolutely fucked time to be a watch dealer at the moment. Prices, there are bargains around, like whenever an economy is so bad, there will always be bargains, but they are few and far between, and the internet's not necessarily the place to get those bargains. Prices on eBay, staying very firm. The amount of stock on eBay has shrunken a lot. I think you're finding a lot less stock available on eBay, and you're finding that a lot of the stock that is on eBay, the people want high prices for it. So the amount of stock for sale and the amount of haggling they'll do has dropped hugely. And that seems to be the situation all around there. Prices are higher than they were in a good market. So this is what I'm saying. In a good market, there's a bit of play with the pricings, but in a fucked market like we've got there, people are holding out, and there's less sales happening. But the sales that are happening, people are more stubborn, and it's just a very sad reflection of fucked times that we're in there. Because the Chinese are such a large segment of this market, they're a very uneducated market in the sense that they're just new to luxury goods. So certain pieces are available at reasonable prices. Say Holy Trinity members, besides the latest Patek, because Patek's a very strong brand, but Audemars small dress size, Vacheron small dress size. There are a few bargains to be had there because the Chinese market is quite immature. They're after brand names, Rolex, Tag, Omega, Patek, and as their tastes mature, you'll see that the prices for smaller 60s, 50s dress watches will increase as that market becomes more educated there. Some other pieces which are just to wrap up some prices there. Classic pieces like Omega Speedmaster Professional Men on the Moon, they're staying firm, no bargains there. Rolex Explorer 2, that's the unloved sports watch in the range there. Prices are firm, no great bargains there. Cartier Panther Quartz, these models here are sort of a bit out of date, and that there some bargains in better times, but now they're holding their own at a high end there, so that those bargains have disappeared from the market. And blue chip Patek white gold, big size, always attracting, and the money's holding firm on that there. We're not seeing any bargains in that neck of the woods at all there. And I must say, with the Rolex Speedmaster Man on the Moon, market's very tough in many economies to sell. Even classic piece like that at a reasonable price is not selling well at all, and this just shows you how bad it is. You've got to fight for stock, for the limited stock that's available, and once you've got it, it's impossible to sell in your own market, which is just shows you how tough times are there, and that's going to continue happening. One interesting comment is that the Rolex Explorer 2 white dial, which was had a lot of popularity early 2000, but lost popularity with the release of these ceramic GMT and Submariner. It's starting to get a bit more of attention now with the release of the 42mm Explorer. Whenever a new model's released, the previous version tends to get a bit more popularity because it's the last of that series there. So that's one good thing for Rolex Explorer fans there. Their prices are certainly rising, and they've been depressed for a while. As I've said there, Patek, blue chip Patek, gorgeous Patek oversized case, no bargains to be found there. If you want the piece, if you want a white gold one, prices are very, very firm and very hard to get there. Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, say a mid-90s quartz type piece in two-tone in fantastic condition. That seems to be holding its own. Quartz is, of course, very much a no-no in watch collecting, but there are a few bargains there, and this is great bang per buck piece to own. And prices for this type of piece must rise as the Chinese latch onto these bargains, which are true luxury brand names, but they're heavily discounted because they have the quartz movement. So I suspect that sort of bargain there is going to be few and far between in the coming years as the Chinese market expands and they want more and more luxury. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but at the moment things are very, very tough in a local domestic sense, and as I said, dealers are competing to get the stock, and once they've got the stock, it's a very hard sell to actually get rid of it. This is Archie Luxury's wrap up of the market for 2012, and I'm going to give it a F rating. That's for the market is fucked. Thanks very much. I'm Archie Luxury.